I'm Mike Lyden. I'm a adjunct product design professor. What do I like about product design? It's basically a really long conversation with yourself and others about how to solve a problem. And usually the problem is really complicated and the actual dimensions of the problem are overlooked by people who use the things all the time. So that part, I think, finding that little mix of what the hell is actually happening here and how to fix it, that's like my favorite part about it. Right after school, I got an internship in product design, and I started doing things like kind of like gift category, flashlights, lanterns, and Bluetooth items. Developed that into doing toy design. That was my next big job. That was my first full-time staff designer job, and that was designing remote controlled cars, helicopters, boats, planes, some outdoor products. No soft goods, mostly just like handheld, semi-electric consumer goods. I mean, really, for product design, it's very creative and interesting, but it's very technical and research-based, but it's also practical. So the idea is, of course, it's to make something that people will buy, and not just to make one thing. Like, it's not a sculpture. I mean, it has sculptural elements, but it's something that will be reproduced on a mass scale. That's the very core of it. So you have to sell it. One of my items went to BJ's, which was actually a Bluetooth-powered lantern, which was a Bluetooth speaker that happened to be a collapsible lantern as well. There's a lot of different 3D modeling programs. Essentially, a product designer is going to use a whole ton, like an entire suite of products. It's very digital, but there's, old-fashioned. You start with like an idea. You actually start with research and a problem to solve, and then you sketch it out, usually by hand. I still like to sketch by hand, but there's also Sketchbook Pro. People are migrating over to Procreate as well. It's also a digital sketch program. I use Sketchbook Pro and a tablet. I have a Microsoft Surface, and I do teach sketching here, and we teach Sketchbook Pro. Photoshop's like an extension of my being, so I definitely use that. And then for rendering, I mean, if you use SolidWorks, Visualize is integrated. For me, I use either Shot or Keyshot. That's just for visual rendering of a 3D model that already exists. So this is one of the multi-tools that's up there, and this is the wine and cheese one. This one happens to be my favorite one. My version of it is that you work in the city and you want to have a crazy cool lunch break, and you go out to Central Park. So like this tool right here, which is actually, this is a production version of it. This is actually final graphics for a package that was built. And it just shows the functions that are built into the piece. Oh, Thresher. So this one's actually this is my favorite toy. This is my first ground up design. So basically from nothing into like a product that you can buy. So the idea was like, we need a helicopter to sell at this price point, at this size, to fit into our existing lineup. So this was the next generation. Didn't quite replace that one. It kind of bumped it up a little bit. And this one is currently on sale at Best Buy and Macy's.